we ready? Sure! So welcome to the Steamcon Keynote. Obviously we've had a fantastic weekend so far. We've got a lot of really cool things to show you in about the next 20-30 minutes. But just to start off with, we're going to start off with a little video from Matt and Rich, because obviously they couldn't be here with us, so they want to send you a little message just from them.
Hi everyone. So sorry we couldn't make it. As you've probably been told, by the time you see this, we'll be in China doing lots of boring businessy stuff and not being in America drinking lots of whiskey stuff. Well, and talking about games and stuff, pretty much. Yeah. So never fear, despite us being several thousand miles away, we have prepared a bit of a surprise for these chancers who have been no doubt entertaining you for the last 10 minutes or so. And we've slipped something secret into the presentation. So might be the next slide, might be the slide after that, but I'm sure Perkins will be very happy to suddenly reveal something surprising for him. So enjoy that, Jamie. You're welcome.
Cheers.
Yeah, happy days. So please have a drink of a whiskey for me. Make it several, and have fun with all the guys there. Play lots of games, and we really look forward to seeing you next time around.
Yeah, and just a massive appreciation for coming to Steamcon and continually supporting us in what we do, and the team. Like we every day we're just super happy.
And blame Rich for booking the China trip on this weekend.
It's not blaming me. It's not my fault.
That's it. Done.
So this keynote got prepared quite a few weeks ago, and that video got filmed I think on Monday of this week, and after they filmed it, they're like, so Perkins, we got a surprise for you. It's like, I don't like your surprises normally. So they were like, they strong-armed us into throwing something extra into the keynote. It's actually something that was planned for the UK keynote, but they wanted to show you something extra just from Rich and Matt, so we put something extra in. And it's to do with the Free Cities draft, actually. We mentioned quite early on that if the union guys participated in the draft and were participating in community events and were submitting results, then we'd give them something special just for the union players. And that's what we've done. So we're going to be showing you something just for them. So let me introduce you to Veteran Greed. So after the last time we saw Avarice Greed decided to part ways, and after that, Greed decided he had some soul searching to do, and he thought, I'm going to start the union again on my own. So he's joined the Rookie Academy. He's obviously taken up his mount of Strongbox. This is Veteran Greed. He is now the last man in the union, and he's starting things again. So back to the regular scheduled events. And I'll hand you off to Steve.
Okay, so last Steamcon we announced God Tier, and at this Steamcon we've been showing you what God Tier has become. And so the main thing is that we decided after we announced God Tier to take it to early access that allowed people to contribute to the development. We wanted your feedback, and early access has been massively successful, and it's made it what the game is today. And we are now at the point where, from that early access, we did the Kickstarter, we funded a lot of champions, and we're still on schedule for April 2019, so for that release when everything will come out. And then the final thing that I can say as well is we've started work on stuff post-Kickstarter as well, so new champions and other fun stuff coming down the line. Now, in terms of models, we don't have any models to show because we've shown you loads of cool models and so on, and we want to keep some things back, keep things special. We thought, we'll show you some stuff from the Kickstarter, so we have our exclusive Kickstarter mat, and we have what the final tokens are going to look like. They're pretty nice. And then the final thing that we're going to talk about. So, in your Steamcon boxes, there were some puzzle pieces, and I saw you trying to put it all together. And we expected it was going to, it was going to be difficult, but we expected you to at least finish it. And yeah,
good job.
And that didn't happen. But we're not going to be mean. We're going to show you what one of those puzzles were. So we will show you that image now. Now this is something new from God Tier. And as to what it actually is, we're going to keep that secret. We want you to be guessing, and yeah, so exciting stuff coming down the line for God Tier. At this point, I will pass you back over.
So, obviously, Guild Ball Season 4 released today, and it seems like everyone's been having a whole lot of fun with it so far. And one of the biggest measurements of that has been when we had the US Nationals on yesterday, and people dropping for the Nationals were like, yes, I get to play Season 4 now! That's straight away told you how much excitement there's been. Obviously, we've been trying to keep the hype train going as much as we could with the media outlets the last couple of weeks, and people have just been really excited for the new season. So I wanted to go on, just wanted to talk about some of the aims that we've got for Season 4 for coming over this next year. First one being, obviously we want to keep the veteran players excited and want to keep you guys, player retention. We want to make sure people are still enjoying the game as much as possible, so you guys keep playing the game. And that's really important for the next point, which is accessibility for new and returning players. With people being excited about the game, people going back to your local game store, just playing the game out in public, people coming to the gaming store or into your local club and go, this seems exciting, I want to see what this is about. If we tie that hand in hand with less complicated rules, streamlining where possible, then it's a really good way to grow the community and get more people into the game. We also want to take the opportunity to re-establish what was unique about each guild. So the Brewers and the Alchemists are really great examples of this, where we were getting a little bit too much of guild homogenization, so we just needed to make sure that everything was remaining unique for each team. And of course, balance is kind of important. So early this year, we announced starting to go digital with Guild Ball. We announced Guild Ball Manager as the official app of Guild Ball. Now, this wasn't to force people into stopping using cards. It's to give everyone the choice of how they want to play the game in whichever medium they want to use. It's been a bit of a controversial thing for some people, but ultimately we feel like it's where the gaming community is going in general, and a lot of other game systems are making similar choices. It seems like we need to keep with the times. So we're just giving people as many options as we can. Cards are not disappearing. People can still play with cards. You can play with devices as much as you want as well. And focus is going. Dooley! Nope, it's disappeared.
Oh.
Brief tech mode.
That's fine. Anyway.
Okay, well, no joke. This is all scheduled. This is part of it.
Can't get it. The power of good now.
I did the exact same thing before, and he's like, I'm just gonna, that's fine.
So we also have what we've been calling the Guild Ball Hub, which is basically a refreshing of the Steamforge website. So hopefully it's going to be much more easy to find all the resources you need to download the rules, download the cards, organize play documents, and also the backstory as well. So we're going to put it online on the Guild Ball Hub Season 1, 2, 3 storyline, and we're eventually going to be publishing the Season 4 storyline through the blogs, and that will eventually find its way onto the Guild Ball Hub as well. So everything's nice and central, much more easily accessible for veteran players, and again, newer players. So we're doing a brand new organized play kit, because we went and analysed their older kits and found some faults with them, or at least with the tournament kit, which is, after a few months of it being out, everyone already had everything. No one really cared about it anymore, because you've already all got the chibi cards, you've already all got limited edition Mist, and it just wasn't, it wasn't something that was lasting for very long. It wasn't an evergreen product. It wasn't keeping people excited to go to tournaments. I mean, people go to tournaments anyway because hopefully they find the game exciting, but the organised play kit should help that. So we found a way to help keep it a little bit more evergreen, which is we have designed 4 brand new alternate sculpts that are exclusive to this organised play kit. And in each kit you're going to get a blind blister pack, which will have one of these alternate sculpts inside. I'm going to show 2 of them off today. 2 of them are going to be common, one of them is going to be a rare, and one is going to be a super rare. We're going to show you one of the common sculpts. Iron.
Steve, just like one more under it. One more under it.
So iron is one of the common sculpts, and we're also going to show you one of the rares, and this is the falconer that we all deserved. At this point, I'll pass you over to Sherwin for 3CT draft.
So, 3CT draft. So the best thing about 3CT draft is how much you guys have all been getting into this thing. Like literally, the response from the community has been incredible for 3CT draft. This has been easily the biggest narrative campaign we've run yet. Now, obviously what we've done over the last little while is we've shared some stories with you, which has kind of edged on the community quite a lot. You guys have sort of really got up towards that. We've shown you some of where the sort of the top 3 players for each guild, as in what guys you're pursuing. We've also shown you the guild standings, so you have an idea of where your rivals are in terms of where your placement is. If you're the hunters and you have yet to work out there's an event even happening, if you're the farmers at the top end who have been relying on a lot of union support, I'm told, which now they've got their model may disappear, who knows. This time round, we're going to show you each of the rookies and the top 2 guilds who are currently pursuing them, so you have an idea of who your rivals really are. So, the first one is Amber, and this one's obviously fairly straightforward, because I think this is probably the most known one of all of them. So, the first guild chasing Amber is Farmers, and the second one, Brewers. So, we all knew that. Brewers, good luck with that one. Lying a bit behind the curve. Next up, Champ. There you go, we have one Champ fan. Okay, so, first champ is Butchers. And the next one. Now, the Masons started off really, really badly, as in you guys literally voted for everybody equally, which was quite impressive, the feat. Now you seem to have finally worked out to actually sort of pick 1 or 2, and now you're chasing them, and you're really shooting up the table, so that's super cool to see. Next up. So we heard you guys like goalkeepers, and somehow nobody's talking about Cutlass, so apparently you may not like goalkeepers after all. Anyway, Fish, and... So, interesting one here. Blacksmiths, you guys are quite high up the draft. You can upset things quite a lot by changing over to look for Cutlass at this stage. Okay, so Edge, and we all know that the Hunters want to make a Cena and Edge tag team. Which I'm guessing is the first one, yeah. I should probably say, by the way, these aren't necessarily the exact, like, as in, the first one is the top and the second one is that. We've mixed it up a little bit to keep you guys on the toes. And next up,
Edge for Morton.
So this competition, Morticians and Hunters, worked out really well last year. Keep that in mind. Next up. So Flea is probably the rookie that I think no one... There you go. We have I was going to say no one cares, but over there we do, so that's cool. So Hunters are pretty excited because they seem to be the only one who care about Flea. And that's true, but Brewers are your rivals, which is a real interesting one because guess what? They're not going to get their top pick, I don't think. So if they decide to switch over and chase, then you might have a problem after all. Especially since you haven't actually really put in any results. So, nice Gaffer. Yes. See, everyone loves Gaffer. He's a pundit. Good. Blacksmiths.
One guy.
And
I will put in all the ones I have to.
So, and again, interesting in that we've seen both these guilds before, so things are quite tight for some of these players. Interesting. Next. So, who's gunning for Cammy? Yeah, I hate that. Yeah. For a bunch of people who want to play the ball a lot, you really want to kill it, apparently. They're back. Masons are a strength to be reckoned with. Next. Yeah. Okay, Knuckles. Any guesses? Waxless. And so, interesting one here. Last year, the engineers managed to turn it round by basically deciding that they would have a really cool model in Harriet the Hat. This year, they've backed this up by deciding that if they get Knuckles, they're going to give him mechanical Mega Man fist. So just throwing that out there, those guys really know how to turn votes their way. Next up, my boy Lane. Quick highlight, he's not dead. Thank God. He just OD'd, he'll pull through. Okay, first one. You're gonna be a There you go. There you go. Next up, your competition is... You might not be so happy now. So again, interesting, farmers are currently top. You guys have the pick of any player whatsoever from the entire draft if things carry on this way. If you literally switch the lane, you change the entire dynamic of the whole Three Cities draft. Just throwing that out there. However, you will upset every single Mortician player in the world. Next up. Last one, Nomad. So, Alchemist. Yeah! Who do you think your competition is?
Farmers. Nobody cares.
Yeah? So, here's the really interesting thing about farmers. Farmers have had an awful lot of union support. That same union support might either desert them about now they've got greed, or they might decide to screw with you and give you someone you don't really want, like Nomad. That's really a message more for the union players. Now you've got your player, now's the time to really have fun with this. So, that's 3 Cities draft so far. Thank you everyone so much for keep going with this. Please keep going. Don't let the guys at Steamcon UK ruin this by basically giving you some really swervy results. Keep putting stuff in. Okay, so design a model. That happened today. That was pretty cool. Yeah. Kid Blackheart's a thing. No, we don't talk about Ghost Bear. So, let's go. We have a render for you. Which is wonderfully out of focus for us.
That looks alright.
So that's Kid Blackheart. For those of you who weren't part of this seminar, we had a quick time where we basically went through, we designed a model based on, or designed a character based on an idea of the Brewers Minor Guild. Now, they're a guild who represent the heroes and the villains and the legends and the myths of the Empire of the Three Cities. And unsurprisingly, the legends, the heroes and villains, get my teeth back in, of the Empire of the Three Cities are the Guild Ball players. So, what guild do we think this could be? One of you actually hit on it pretty closely during the actual process itself. Entertainers Guild. So these guys basically are troops of actors who represent different heroes and villains from the universe. We will see another designer model at Steamcon UK where they'll be designing one of the other squaddies who will be another Season 1 captain, a caricature like this. Their captain is a narrator who's telling a story. So you really get to have a lot of fun role-playing with this guild itself. We'll also tell you a little bit more about this as we go on, but that's the Brewers Minor.
So you will notice that the English made me go last. That's not a coincidence. But, right, mate. I do also get to do the fun bit, so that's pretty sweet. So, the Engineers Minor Guild. What would the best name for a minor guild be?
Miners.
We did it!
So yeah, we've got the miners for the engineers. Did we just go to this one? Yeah, so, this is Shaft.
Shut your mouth!
I'm talking with Shaq!
So this is Shaft. He is the Miners Guild captain, the Miners Guild captain. He is a really cool guy. He has a so we try not to give too much away about them today, but specifically you can see he's got a big old pickaxe there, which is probably a 2-inch melee, maybe. And he also has a mechanical arm. And so that's something, one of the big things we're doing with miners, because they have a really difficult job, right? You know, they're working on the ground, in terrible conditions. So they are, a lot of them have lost limbs in the process of that, so they have these prosthetic arms, prosthetic legs. And that's a sort of visual tie that brings them all together, and also provides a tie to the Engineers Guild, because they obviously have mechanical stuff as well. And Shaft, in his case, has a mechanical arm. So, oh yeah, so he was actually the other puzzle that no one could figure out. Well, that was a trick. Just puzzle better. Okay, but yeah, but you would have gotten that earlier if you were good at things, but you're not. So that's Shaft. So this is Fuse. So Fuse is the explosives expert. He used to be a sapper in the war, and he's an explosives expert, although expert might be a bit of a misnomer because he did blow his legs off. I'm not going to say too much about him, but he likes to throw dynamite around. He likes to play games with explosives, basically. And you can see the scope there. He's still grinning despite his maiming. So we'll move on now. So Mule is basically a robot that they got from the engineers, and they use him to haul mining carts underground. But one of the really cool things about the Mechanica in the Miners Guild is that while they got it from the engineers initially, they're not working in good conditions, right? They're working underground, so they get broken, stuff gets damaged, and they have to sort of bodge it back together themselves, which is why you have this sort of patchwork appearance and the very distinct visual look of the miners Mechanica as opposed to the engineer stuff. And you can see he's a big old boy, and he generally likes to throw the enemy team around, push them around, knock them down, and do a little bit of damage. So that's his kind of playstyle as well. So that is an Alt Colossus sculpt. And he has power drills in 3 of his limbs, which is more than I thought any man would need. But yeah, he's pretty badass. So and we can also, obviously, with that, confirm that Colossus is one of the crossover models for miners. So to talk about the playstyle a little bit, the engineers in general are tougher than your average guild ball team. You know, just a little bit more resilient to damage. And the miners are very much in the same vein, so they can take a bit of a hit and they can keep on trucking. So the next thing is that we bracket every guild into whether we want them to be 3-0, 2 takeouts, 2 goals, 1 goal, 4 takeouts, whatever. And the miners very, very much want them to be a 3-goal team. That is their primary focus. And one of the ways that they achieve that is because they have, come on, Curkov. They have the highest number of place effects of any guild. So place effects currently in the game are pretty rare. It's kind of like unique, like one-off models in guilds. The hunters have a couple, but in the miners, a lot of their models can place around because we thought that was a really cool thematic way to represent them just going for a little tunnel and just getting around and sneaking around the battlefield like that. So they get to place around, and that gives them a lot of maneuverability and a lot of ability to like get out to disengage and stuff. But obviously, because they've got a lot of places, they've got a lot of additional movements on top of their jogs, they have quite low movement stats as a result of that. And the final point with them is this is something we try and do with every Guild Ball team and every Guild Ball model, but we've specifically gone through and tried to make them very accessible and new player friendly, because that's super important. We need people to play the game. So that's just a really important point. And that's us.